Hi, we're back to CS170 working on some spreadsheets. So last time I left off, we just opened up a new book and had a couple of worksheets that we set up. Introduction to Excel, and I just set up a details thing here. Why don't I try to make this bigger? So let me do view and maybe let's bump up the zoom to 150. All right, maybe that makes it a little bit better, easier to read. Actually, maybe let's do even more. Let's do 175. Okay. Yeah, so I'm up here. I did the view, did the zoom, and you can set it to whatever you want here. So I just made it to be this size. Hopefully this is good for everyone. All right, so this is where we left off. I just set up a couple of different categories here, and I just showed some formula calculation, and I did a fill to move the formulas or copy the formulas down to these other places here. Let's see what we can do from here. So yeah, you can do some stuff with the bold, wrapping text and whatnot, and you can do some different things with the numbers here. So let's see if I can walk through some of that right now. And let's say we want these guys bolded up. We can even make it bigger. So similar to like what you may have seen in Word, you can play around with the fonts. Let me make this a little bit bigger maybe. Let me make them bold. I can maybe fill in the background color. Yeah, that looks okay. I can even change this. I can, well, it's already black here. I can change it to some other color. Maybe let's make it red. Okay. Maybe I do this. I could do another background color. Something like that. So you see this column width here, it kind of spills over to here. I can go here, I can double click. That does that. But let me see if I do this, I do this. You see what happened? I squeezed in this column, and then a number became that. Okay, but let me click on multiple columns. I can do that with a shift and a click. So I shift click and I got DEF, and then I'm going to double click on this. Oops, here, and well, actually, they all kind of sized up alright. Yeah, make this kind of big. Here, oops, maybe this is better. Something like that, and then double click. So let me switch these up here again. So what I was trying to show here is that you can highlight 3 columns, double click, and then all of them will size accordingly to fit whatever is the biggest thing that's in that column. Okay, and it works the same way if you did this too. You did a shift and a click here, you can work with multiple rows. Okay, so these are columns coming across the top. These are rows coming down here, right? And you can see I made this a bigger font, so this row actually became a little bit taller. Okay, so these are some of the different things you can play around with here. And let's say I want to insert a column. So I can do insert, and you get a new column here. Okay, so likewise, you can do a delete. A couple things here. Let's say I want to take all of these and I want to clear them out. So I can do clear contents. Likewise here, I can do a insert, and you get an insert like that. One thing to note, you remember these were formulas here. So if I do an insert, so this kind of stayed the same here. Let me do an insert here and see how this became from D to E. Okay, so all of your formulas adjusted accordingly when you added columns like that. Okay, let's put some numbers here. We'll just put regular numbers here. So let me see how we can format these. We can do a format. Actually, I can have it up here too. But you can see all these different things I can do. Let's say I want to make these currency like that. And it'll put the $ here and then 2 decimals here. Let's see what else we can do to format. Can do a percentage. Right, so these become kind of big here. So let me just reset these to something. So let's do format. Let's put these back to numbers again. And then I'm going to do 0.45. All right, so these are all in decimals here. 1.34, and then if I convert this with a format and I make it a percentage, essentially it takes it and multiplies it by 100. Okay, and if I don't want to show all these like decimal places afterwards, you see this up here, I can push the decimals in or out. Right, in this case, oops. In this case, I want to push them the other way, actually, like that. Okay, and so if I have a regular number, it's like point whatever, by me doing it as a format for a percentage, it'll basically take it, multiply by 100, and then put a percentage there. Okay, so let me see. So if I do 100 times this, so essentially you get 45% of 100, which would be 45. Okay, let me see here. I think we covered currency. We have some text here. We played around with the column widths. Change column width. Yeah, let's go back to here. Let's do the column width here. And column. Oh yeah, okay. So let's do this. I'm gonna something like that. And then I'm gonna do the wrap text. And you see what it did there. It made this taller so you can wrap the text around. Okay. And so you remember, like in HTML, we did some spanning. So you might have 2 columns like this, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then you can do this. Okay. And then you kind of create like a merged column that spans over the two, like that. Okay. So there's different types of combinations here. You can play around with it. The one I did was the merge and center one. Okay. This one takes the text and does an angle. So let's say you had this and you want to kind of squish these titles in a bit. Let's do that. And you get something like that. Okay. I did the clear cells for you. We did some formatting. So cut, copy, and paste contents. Kind of similar to what you might do on a Word document. So say you want to, so I'm going to do it like this, but actually I usually do it with like a keyboard. So you can do like a control and whatever. In this case will be control C for copy, right? Control X for cutting it. But you can do right mouse button, you can do all these different things. So in this case I'm going to do a copy, and you see it kind of does this little box around it. I could have copied this whole thing. Let me do escape here and highlight all of these guys, and I'm going to copy this guy here, and let's say I want to put it here. There's all kinds of different type of paste options. In this case it doesn't matter because these are just well, it does matter because you're actually copying the formatting too. But there's no formulas with this. It's just some formatting and some letters there. So I can do that. But I could have done it differently. Let me clear this to clear out some noise here. And just gonna set out the format, which I should do it up here. Oh, you got these edges that I took out here too. So you see this here, these little borders. So you can play around with these different borders, but let me do all borders here, and that puts these borders in here like that. Okay. So this has the formulas, right? So let's say I want to copy these values. So I'm going to copy this like this, and I'm going to go here, and this is where I go into different things. So I can do paste, right? And that would paste everything. That would paste the formulas, whatever formatting I had and whatnot. This would just paste the values. So you can see it's 420 and whatever. And let me just paste this now. Now I go in here, you can see it's just the values. There's no cell reference or anything like that, like what you had here. Okay, so that's what it means by pasting the values. So there's different types of paste you can do. And normally what I'm pasting, since I don't have that in memory anymore, let me copy this, copy, and then let me paste here. You can see all these different things here. So this one I just pasted with the values before. This is with the formula, and obviously the formula is not going to come up with anything because to the left of it is all blank. And you can transpose it, which kind of flips it the other way. Let me go back to transpose again. You see what happened there? Right, it flipped it going across. And then you have like these formatting, and then you have a link, which I'm not really sure. I haven't really used that. But most of the time, you'll probably be doing this one or just pasting with the values. Pasting with the formula, if you're going to paste with the formula, you're probably just going to paste with this. But yeah, sometimes you probably will paste with the formula too. But I would say from my own personal experience, I probably mostly use these two guys here with the paste. All right, let's see. All right, here we go with the formulas. So I kind of did the formulas a little bit before, but let me do just a few more as demo here. You see something like this, right? This minus and the times. So just like we did with the JavaScript, those calculations follows that whole PEMDAS type of thing. So the multiplication is going to go first before you do the minus. Similar type of thing, and similar thing if you do parentheses and all that kind of stuff. So it follows the same rules in terms of PEMDAS, right? So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, exponents, all that kind of stuff, and then subtraction, addition, and whatnot. So it's the same thing as in JavaScript in terms of the ordering when you put these together. If you really don't remember, the best thing you can do is just, if you really want certain things to happen first, you put the parentheses around them. And I'll give you an example of it while I'm here and I'm talking about it. We just did copy and paste. We had the fill from earlier. And yeah, so let me play around with this here. So let me do like some more of a formula here. So let me put some numbers here. Okay. And let me put, let's not do that right now. Let's put another set of numbers here. Okay, so I do equals, and let me do this one minus this one times 65. Okay. So under normal PEMDAS rules, then you wouldn't have done the minus, but because I put the parentheses around it, it does. So let me do this without the parentheses, minus, and then times, what did I times it by? 65, I think. Times 65, yes. So this one times that, and that. So you can see it came out with minus 596. The reason why it became negative, you can see, is because it followed PEMDAS, meaning it multiplied these two first and then subtracted that from this. And this was a much larger number. Okay, so hopefully that feels intuitive to you. Do the parentheses, obviously that operation goes first, and you multiply by 65. Here, I didn't put any parentheses in, so the multiplication went first, and then you subtract it from C15. Okay, and then you guys probably remember this thing. I just dragged it down. This is your fill function here. I want to take this down. I'm going to take all of this down like that, and same thing. You can see all the formulas got adjusted to account for the new row or new reference. Okay, so that's one of the, I think it's one of the nicest things with Excel is to be able to quickly generate some small formula and then be able to apply it to a whole bunch of different rows and columns fairly quickly. Okay, let me see if I covered that. Yeah, hopefully that kind of covered, like, you know, writing some formulas. I don't think there's anything kind of big with the formulas here. You obviously have a lot of latitude to create all kinds of formulas, no different than what you were doing with the JavaScript. All right, so anything you can think of that you would be doing on a calculator, let's say, or whatnot, you can come up with some pretty sophisticated stuff. Later on, we're going to be doing some other stuff which actually goes into here. You'll see like summations, you'll have all kinds of different functions here. You can see, like, you know, you name it, it's got all kinds of functions going on here. Let's do math and trigonometry. Well, let's do statistical. All right. I mean, it's just like a bunch of different formulas you can apply. It's all built in here. Okay, let's do math and trig. All right, you might remember this from high school math, I guess. Um, so all these different things. So it's really, you name it, there's a huge amount of formulas that are available to you, kind of built in. You can call any of those. While I'm here, let me just stick a function in here. Let me say I want to sum this guy here. So I can do equals sum, and let's say I want to sum all these guys here. And there you go, you have a sum. Okay, so all the other formulas are very similar. As you put it in, look at the bottom here. Basically, it helps you. It kind of tells you what to stick in there. So you have number 1, number 2, so on and so forth. And that's what I did with all these numbers here. And then you have to close paren. So it's kind of like an autocomplete type of thing. So you type in the formulas, that automatically helps you search. You see here, you see all these different formulas that automatically pop up like that. Okay, so something for you to play around with. Let me see if I covered all these guys here. Oh, yeah, let me do a control tilde. So you would hit the control, your tilde, where's the tilde at? It's up at the top. Well, it depends which keyboard you have, but let's say top left for me. And once you hit control tilde, you get to see all these formulas in here without you going in to each one like I did before. So you can see all the formulas I apply here. So that's kind of quick. Usually when we have to grade like the Excel sheets and the exams, we want to check all your formulas. This is the way we do it. We open it up, control tilde, you can see all your formulas. Okay, I'm going to do this control tilde to flip it back to what it was before. Okay, and on this topic, absolute relative, I'm going to save this for the next lecture because I see I'm at like around 22 minutes. So let me stop here.